Frankie Edgar is a little confusing on his messaging right now. He seems to be going in two different directions, but I think that I like his new direction more. Let me explain. So, Frankie Edgar, one of the greats ever, 155 pounds, 145 pounds, and now he's going to go down to 135, but he's only going down to 135 because he sees a path and a road to a world championship, and that is what he is after, and he's willing to change his life, change his physiology, change his training, to pursue this dream. I love the story, and the fact that he then went out and did it makes it more than just a story. This becomes a journey that everybody can come along with for Frankie. Here's the bad news, and I don't want to be the one that tells it to him. If you do everything right, everything that you laid out, and you win the matches that you see that you need to win, you are very unlikely to receive a world championship shot. Hope you do, and most certainly could happen. You are just unlikely. Those tend to move around with some parity. Those tend to favor the youth. Many people would look at as you've had your opportunity. So even doing everything right, you may not get there. The reason I would not want somebody to tell Frankie that is he has a hope, a belief, and a dream, and he uses that for motivation, of which he's carrying out. A very hard job and a very hard life. Oh, by the way, later in life, changing his body. Actually changing his physiology, changing the way that he eats and sleeps and trains to make this weight class. I mean, it is such a display of heart and character by Frankie. You'd have to be a real scumbag to come and slap him in the face and throw some cold water and go, ha, your dream is never going to happen. Well, first off, we don't know what's going to happen. And second off, why would you stop anybody from having a dream? But here's where the good news comes in. Frankie today has gone in a totally different direction, and that was after Dominick Cruz. But why I call it a different direction is because Frankie said, and I quote, "I would love to have a legacy fight with Dominick Cruz." Now that is something he can get. That is something that is very obtainable. And he is very right. That would be a legacy fight. You would have two of the greats from the same era that would be called a super fight at any other time. It would be a champion versus a champion in two different weight classes, or a former champion versus a former champion from two different weight classes. You just can't get that match to happen. It just turns out right now you can't. They're both looking for something to do. They both only do big main event fights. They both only fight fellow hammers. I mean, everything about that seems to make a level of sense. I am not here predicting for you that that's the fight that you're going to see. What I'm sharing for you is Frankie's messaging now is one where you can jump in the bus and not expect that at some point you're going to slam right into a brick wall. Might be several miles down the road, might even be a year or so down the road, but you got a pretty good idea that you're going to smack right into a brick wall. You've based everything on an extreme dream that doesn't have a lot of likelihood and that some other people, outside forces, have to say yes to. Even if you do everything that you laid out for yourself, other forces that have to, it just takes a lot. It takes a lot to end up in a title fight. It just does. And he's done it. He's done a lot, a whole bunch of times. But a legacy fight with Dominick Cruz, I think you can start to see where not only is he right, that if you go down this path, you're going to end up face to face with Dominick Cruz. Not only is he right, and not only is that a little bit easier of a leap to make, but he is correct that that would be about legacy. He didn't call it a contenders fight. He didn't call it a championship fight. He didn't call it anything other than what it is. Frankie Edgar versus Dominick Cruz would be a legacy fight in many different ways. And Frankie would not seize the legacy that the most well-known bantamweight of all time, who very much saved that division the way as Henry Cejudo saved the flyweights. There would be a lot of legacy on that.